Hi, Lindy. Hi, Glynis. And well done on getting through the first 2 weeks of the Truth About Alcohol life-changing experience. And I think by now you might start to realize why we changed the name from a course to a life-changing experience. It's not a course, is it? It's a lot deeper than a course. It's a massive reassessment and personal evaluation about how you're living your life and how you have come to be who you are today, and how the decisions you've made, but more importantly, how other people's decisions have resulted in your personality and the way you are today and the culture that you exist in and your worldview and your beliefs. And entrapped in all of that are the reasons why we drink alcohol. And once we can unwind these reasons why we drink alcohol, it's a lot easier for us to then make a conscious decision about how we're going to go forward with that information as an adult, as opposed to subconsciously being programmed to drink alcohol as a child. Completely different, okay? So I just want to give you some pointers after reading your homework over the past 2 weeks. And yes, I do read your homework. I don't comment on it unless I feel I have to, pardon me, because I like to leave that to the moderators, because I think it's really important that Nikki and Anna build that relationship with you, okay? So here are my pieces of advice after reading all your homework. Number one, I know it's really difficult, but you have to make this your number one priority. If you think that work is more important than this, or you think your relationship with your husband is more important than this, or your relationship with your children, or your relationship with your cows, or your relationship with your dogs, or anything else you get going on in life, that is the resistance talking, okay? That is the resistance talking. Because quite evidently, in my personal experience, once you become someone who doesn't drink alcohol, your personal relationships will, I won't say blossom, I won't give you that 100% cast iron surety, but I can cast iron surety tell you that you will be much more able and capable of handling and dealing with relationship conflict in particular in a much stronger and a much amenable way with your partners, right? You will become better wives, you'll become better mothers, you'll become better business partners and colleagues for your workforce, because the fog will have lifted and you would have found a way to learn to live with your feelings, okay? This is what it's all about, folks. A lot of the time, and reading through your homework, and you two are no different, you're drinking alcohol to kind of block away these feelings, get rid of these feelings, right? We can't get rid of them. I don't know if you've noticed, but every time you wake up with your hangover, they're back again, right? So it really is almost like chasing fool's gold, thinking that drinking is a solution to getting rid of our problems, okay? So if you make this your number one priority, then everything else around you will get a lot better and a lot easier, okay? So please bear that in mind. I think it's really important. I want you to go deeper than ever before. I've seen some of your posts and they're really super deep, okay? Really super deep. But then there are some other posts that are really shallow. I don't mean shallow in emotion or how much you're inputting, but shallow in terms of how much I see on the screen. And because I only see a little bit on the screen, it tells me or gives off the impression that there's not a lot of thought gone into it outside of the screen, which is the most important thing. Here's a little tip that I found myself doing on Strive. If you find that you're not going deep and you're only writing a few words to quite a serious question that's been levied at you by either me, Anna, Nikki, or the homework itself, delete it, stop what you're doing, go away, leave it alone, okay? Particularly around triggers. So if you're answering triggers in a one sentence format, stop it, ignore it, go away, come back and do it again another time. The whole purpose of filling in the 11 questions on the trigger exercise, for example, okay, is not for you to do the exercise and then tick it off your list, okay, and just say, oh, right, brilliant, today I've answered Nikki's question and done these 11 triggers. The purpose of it is for you to sit there, either pen in hand and paper or on your keyboard, reading the question and really deeply thinking about why I'm asking it and how it relates to you in terms of alcohol, particularly around the questions when I'm asking you to think about the perceived value you believe alcohol is providing you and why that value may in fact be an illusion. Those areas in particular go deeper than you've ever gone before, okay? Really super important. I want you to remember your vow. The end of 2 weeks is gone now. The last opportunity to get your money back is over. You've crossed that line and you're committed now to being someone who doesn't drink alcohol. And I think that is absolutely fantastic. But it's really important that you remember that vow. I don't care if you cut it out and stick it in your purse, post it on the fridge, wherever you put it, you need to remember that vow. And when the vow comes in important, think about what a vow means, right? Think about your marriage. You stood at an altar somewhere and you said vows. Now, think about how difficult it would be for you to leave your husband right now, all right? It's not just love, is it? It's not just love. It's not just change. It's not just, oh, am I going to split everything up? You took a vow, and that vow is really serious to you, and you won't break it that easily. We need to make this vow to be someone who doesn't drink alcohol as important as the vow we take when we say in our wedding vows, okay? It's not a tick box exercise. I'm going to go back to this again and again and again. It's not a tick box exercise. Only you can make sure that you follow that vow. And one in particular is, if we've said, try your absolute best not to drink alcohol, okay? Try your absolute best. And I know this week, Lindy, you posted that you had a drink of alcohol. What's really super important when you drink alcohol, one, don't run away. Why? It's expected. It's expected that at some point in these 2 months, people who are addicted to alcohol are going to drink alcohol. It's not a caveat for you to go and drink alcohol, because Lee said it's expected, because it is much better for you if you get through the 2 months without drinking. But it is expected because we're addicted to alcohol, okay? But we've taken a vow, haven't we? That before we drink alcohol, there's a list of things we're going to do before that. And if you don't have a toolbox, then you need to speak to Nikki and say, I don't think my toolbox is strong enough. So you go to a wedding, someone offers you a glass of champagne, suddenly you're drinking it. Why are you drinking it? Where is the gap between getting offered the champagne and you go through your toolbox? You could ask for the you could accept the champagne, put it down, go to the toilet, get your toolbox out, start doing your thing in the cubicle in the toilet. And then you come back and then you decide what you're going to do with the champagne glass, okay? That is the vow we've taken, okay? The distance between when we last drink and today is super important. The longer that can be, the stronger you will be in this thing, okay? So yeah, if you don't have a toolkit on dealing with short-term triggers, speak to Nikki, okay? Ask lots of questions. This always astounds me with Strive and Truth About Alcohol. I am someone who has not drunk alcohol since 2009. Can you believe it? 2009. And I haven't even craved drinking alcohol. Yet, nobody ever says to me, Lee, how did you do it? Tell me all your secrets, right? If I want to run this business as best as I can, if I knew there was someone just around the corner who was willing to tell me every single step they executed on the way to creating a movement of millions of people who don't drink alcohol, I would have them on speed dial. I would be asking them every single thing they did, and I would be copying them. There is nothing wrong with plagiarizing when it saves your life, ladies and gentlemen. Everything in the world is plagiarized. We all are taking little snippets of information of people and we're improving upon it and putting it in our lives. You don't come to a Strive community forum and not ask questions, okay? And it's not just me that hasn't drunk since 2009, okay? Nikki, Anna, everybody's started to get different lengths of sobriety behind them, okay? And that's super important. So ask lots of questions of the people who are not drinking alcohol, okay? Really important. Also, ask questions of each other. Glynis, ask questions of Lindy. Lindy, ask questions of Glynis. When you see each other's homework, don't suggest answers. Don't necessarily do that. Just ask questions, okay? If you ask questions of each other, I think you'll find that much more valuable, all right? I know you're really busy with the Truth About Alcohol life-changing experience, but please keep in contact with the forum, all right? If I was in your shoes right now, I would be checking in every day. checking in every day in the Strive Community Forum, every single day. Even if some days you had to just say, I'm just checking in, folks. I ain't got time to write a lot, but I'm just here. Check in every day. I've heard, I think it was Glynis talking about the importance of journaling and doing the BMS forms every day. Please check in on Strive every day, because then you're becoming part of a movement. You're creating this flexible, kind of really strong muscle that says, I am a part of this movement and I am someone who doesn't drink alcohol, okay? And then when you're ready, when you're challenged and you're going to drink alcohol, you're less likely not to post in triggers, because you're used to posting all the time, okay? So think about that. What else have I got here? Okay, yes. You are both struggling right now, okay? You're both struggling right now. I've seen the words white knuckle in it, all right? I want you to know that this is normal. This is a power struggle between you and the resistance. And the resistance has been winning this war for the last 30, 40, 50 years, however old you are, folks, okay? Now, do not think that we're just going to beat this thing just like that, all right? It isn't going to work, okay? And I just want to read something to you. Just bear with me a second. I posted this for Lindy yesterday, but I think it's super important, so I want to read it to you. Okay. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. I mean, what I get out of that is we are in the arena right now. We're in the middle of the blood and guts and the sawdust, right? We're doing the work. We're part of this. But this is part of it. It takes time. And please, that quote, I posted it on Help and Guidance, Daring Greatly. Read it. Have a think about it, okay? This process that we're about is all about a long term. It's all about the long term, okay? Not the short term. I don't want you to be put off by how complicated it is now, how difficult it is, how challenging it is, how you can't quiet your mind, how you have to deal with your emotions. I am telling you, stick with me, stick with Nikki, stick with Anna, stick with the program, stick with Strive, stick with the Truth About Alcohol and the Alcohol Addiction podcast. And there is no doubt in my mind that over the long term, you will look back and go, wow, that was so difficult back then. But I am so glad that I did it, because my life is so much better right now, okay? I need you to start manifesting, believing, visioning what your life will be like when you are someone who doesn't drink alcohol. Who does that person look like? What do you want to be at the end of all this? And I want you to start getting excited about it. Because if you start getting excited about what you could possibly be, what your potential is, then your subconscious will start to make that happen. If you start to think that in the future, everything's going to be miserable without alcohol, that no one's going to love you, your husband's going to leave you, your friends aren't going to like you, blah, 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 then your subconscious will work at making that happen too. It doesn't take any more effort to think a positive thought than it does to think a negative thought. But the negative thoughts will crush you, ladies and gentlemen. They will screw you over. So we need to start thinking, okay, this is really hard right now, but I don't care. I'm up for the challenge, because at the end of this rainbow is a beautiful pot of gold. It's me. I'm going to really find out who I truly am, and I'm really super looking forward to that, because I'm going to love that person and I'm going to think I'm going to be great, okay? That is super important, right? Partners and reflection. You've got both got partners, both very different. One of them drinks, one of them doesn't drink, okay? One of them would prefer you as drinking, the other one prefers that you wouldn't be drinking. I think it's really important to remember that this is your journey. You're doing this for you. This is your thing. If you can have one thing in your life, this is it, okay? Beyond that, all right, the benefits of being someone who doesn't drink alcohol kind of flow out, and they touch everybody, including Ross and Desmond, right? So you need to focus on yourself, but you also need to be aware that what is happening right now is there is a mirroring effect going on, all right? When there's ego at play, when your husband wants you to stop drinking, it's because he's attached to you. Like you've like throughout your relationship, you wanted the same. When you go out and fall over and act like a cock, okay, he actually feels like those same people who are judging you and casting shame on you are judging him and casting shame on him. All right, he's like he's in your body, okay. And similarly, if he wants you to drink, all right, he's seeing you become someone that he really would like to be deep down, but he can't do that. So he instead of like trying to join you, because it will be, he wants to maintain the status quo. The status quo always wins. The status quo always wins. Let's not beat around the bush, all right? So he desperately wants you to drink, because if you drink, he might have to challenge. If you stop drinking, he might have to think about it, all right? Things are going to get a little bit uncomfortable for him. So there's a reflection going on. There's an ego thing here, all right? It's if you stop drinking, what is your husband's friends going to think about your decision? Oh, she thinks she's better than we are. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And then how does your husband think that that's going on? And even if that doesn't ever manifest itself, when your friends are the best in the world, your husbands may still be thinking those things. So it's about having a little bit empathy about what's going on with your husbands, being a bit, okay, all right, that's what's going on, but being selfish as well and saying this is for me. Why do we need a reason to quit? Why did I write that down? I can't remember. I wrote a 9th point, but I can't remember what it was. Anyway, 16 minutes, long enough. I know you're really busy. I think you're doing a wonderful job. I know this is really hard for you, but please know that Nikki is there for you, Anna's there for you, I'm here for you. You can get hold of any of us anytime you want to get hold of us, all right? Use us. That's what you're paying us for. That's what we're here for, all right? If you've got any questions whatsoever, let me know. Thank you very much, and I will do another video. I don't know, maybe at the end of the week or maybe end of the fortnight. We'll see. Good luck and keep getting on with it. I think you're doing really well. Thanks.